Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sarah Jane. This is Gift of Healing TV. Welcome to this week's program, and I'm delighted this week to have back with us Jill Mattson, and she's sharing sound healing throughout the ages. Now, we've been having a conversation before we started. I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope that you're going to enjoy this because I'm sure I am. But let me introduce Jill to you first. Jill Mattson is a prolific artist, musician, and author. She is a four-time author and I think it's about to become fifth-time author and widely recognized expert and composer in the field of sound healing. She has produced 7 CDs, I have the feeling that might be 8 now, that combine intricate sound healing techniques with her original award-winning musical compositions, Deep Wave Beauty CD, Best New Age CD Silver Award, and a brand new award for Contacting Angels and Masters, which is an INAT's People's Choice Best CD 2015. The CDs consist of intriguing magical tracks using ancient and modern techniques with sound, energy, and special healing frequencies to achieve profound benefits. Available on her sites for free MP3s of her sound healing compositions, including solfeggio tones, star energy, flower frequencies, Fibonacci, and nature tones. I hope I got all that right. Jill, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to, so honored to be able to share forth all these ancient secrets. Powerful. We can really improve our life with some of this. Cool.
Excellent, excellent. Now that broke up a bit, so folks, fingers crossed, the technology is going to be kind to us tonight and we can get to hear everything that Jill's got to say. I got the gist of that. I really did. I think we heard most words. It was just a bit distorted in places. And Stephanie Elaine is here. She says, hi. I'm assuming that might be somebody that you know. So that's great. Oh, we've got Pam here. Greetings and sonic hugs. So welcome folks, and please do let us know that you're here, and if you've got any questions for Jill as we go through the program, please do ask. That's what we're here for. And I'm not going to pronounce this right, I'm going to get it wrong. Malathi, I don't know if I got it the wrong way round. Malathi, I'm sorry, and I know I keep pronouncing it wrong. Malathi's in Sri Lanka, so welcome. Lovely to have you here with us. Jill, share a little about how you got started with working with the sound energies to the extent that you do, because you've gone really deeply into them.
Well, 2 things to keep in mind. My essential nature. I'm a musician since I was this big, and I'm a geek. I love to learn. I love to read physics, math, history, anthropology. I can read a textbook a day and retain it. I mean, I'm like a sponge around knowledge. So I guess it was midlife. I went in on a spiritual quest. I was distraught of the God of the Old Testament, being a very conservative Christian. I mean, he just had PMS. I mean, you know, and my idea of a God was pure love. So I looked for a new Bible, going to the Serpentine, quickly got into the Kabbalah, and the quest that the more beautiful and powerful and wonderful I could conceive, imagine, think of God, the more that reflects on who I am. And so I got into mystery schools like the Ephesian Mystery School of John the Beloved, right over into some over of China. And then when I started around South America, they're having all these new findings deciphered. So it's like super new, which, you know, holy cow, that got me excited. Of course, I'm a geek, but I was still thrilled. And they talk about Atlantis. And I got a tremendous amount of information from the motherland. And also these mystery schools, reading them, like the Druids, Alice Bailey, all these mystery schools. What I learned was that they viewed the world as vibratory energy. And sound was simply a tool to change everything super fast. And instead of having a lens of chemistry or physics or biology, they had a lens of wave interaction and how sound works. And with that little trick, they unlocked this huge box of gifts. And I'm sharing them. We can use them today.
Absolutely brilliantly. Yeah, couple of years ago I heard somebody say sound is the new medicine. I don't know about new, but I knew exactly what she meant, because it is just amazing, the power of sound energy, for good and bad, because obviously it can disrupt as much as it can put everything back in alignment. But you've mentioned Atlantis, and I know that in the write-up for this you mentioned Atlantis, and we will come to Egypt shortly. But please share with us the sound of Atlantis.
All right, let me say that my sources are from the Americas, the Incas, Mayans, Aztecs, of course the Druids, Chinese, Egyptians, and channeling. And also I channel myself. So I've got a multitude, an anthropology and archaeology. What I learned was that I would call Atlantis the motherland. And in Atlantis, when she sunk, there was 12 different tribes, one going to China, another to the Aztecs, one going to be the Druids, one to be the Egyptians. And so like the dream catchers was an Atlantean tool that tribe took with them. The ancient Chinese feng shui and balance, also from Atlantis, was that specialty of that tribe. And because sound can be used to kill and control people, sound was kind of the big secret in mystery schools. However, each mystery school wanted applicants, and just as we want people to go to a movie, the trailer has the best part. Ha ha ha, there's a comic movie. They got the most hilarious part in the trailer. That's exactly what they did. They would tease out one really juicy secret to attract people into their school. Do a few hundred schools, and I've pretty much got the picture put together. And I've got that in my new book coming out in 2 weeks, The Lost Waves of Time, and you can read about it at ancient-music.com, and I have videos so you can experience sound healing techniques from Lemuria, Atlantis, Egypt, China, all over the world. Anyway, what I came to learn was that the reason why Atlantis had such great stuff was because their earlier incarnations, the early part of Atlantis being fabled to be 250,000 years ago, they were very clairvoyant, clairaudient, definitely not Homo sapiens. Think of the godmother in the Disney movie. You could probably poke a finger through her, or an elf, something like that. And they were very clairvoyant and clairaudient, like Donna Eden, who can see the colors of everything in your body, or Sherry Edwards, who can hear your nano communication and tell you have diabetes from the sounds made from your body. So if you're fully clairvoyant and clairaudient, first of all, you can live to incredible long ages, because as soon as something starts to get a little ill, you can see it. It turns dark. Your little white spot with beautiful rainbow colors turns black. So it's not like you could have a heart issue and not know about it. I mean, it's like, hey there, stupid. It's right in your face, you got a problem there. Furthermore, you could hear it. So they know that the body's harmonic. They know that everybody's a song of waves, of frequencies. And when it sounds really crappy, you're sick. And that's their secret. And sound waves interact. So let's say I play the frequency of niacin associated with it. Your face flushes. And you don't take the pill, but you ingest the energy associated with the pill. There's your medicine of the future, at least part of it. So then I had this, I got many tools, but here's one of them. I had this vision, kind of like a lucid dream. And I was back in the later days of Atlantis. And I saw these little kids playing with toys. And they were like a pancreas and a spleen. Now, after I got over, oh my gosh, how droll. No Barbie, no Ken, no G.I. Joe. Well, anyway, they're playing with pancreas and spleens, but it was purposeful. It was play and it was education. They were humming the tones associated with the healthy organ, and I know how to get that from science and on my own. And furthermore, they had colors because they're clairvoyant, so they knew which color a healthy organ radiates. They would also know which emotions collect through resonance, because every emotion is a cycle per second, it's a frequency, collects in what part of your body. For example, worry collects in the lining of your tummy. Get too much, you got an ulcer. But it collects there because the lining near tummy is the same frequency as worry, and energy transfers through resonance. So likewise, they would know everything they need to be a beautiful, shining, radiant light physically. So I got so excited after this vision, and I quickly put together this deep wave body healing CD. And I have music in the key signature of the body organ. And then I have the frequencies of the healthy organ and the harmonic cascades, like a very complete after ripple of sound describing that healthy organ. And then I went into ancient China and I got all of the ancient associations because they have it in their feng shui. And what I found when you go through listening to the sounds and going through the associations of your organs, that then you begin to feel them. It's like you focus on it so you connect. So like if I connect enough times, which I've done because of my CDs with my pancreas, I know what my pancreas feels like. And it's quite different than my spleen. And so although I'm not fully clairvoyant and clairaudient, when I don't feel well, I can just check to see what's out. Pop in the CD or start to hum and tune. In other words, I'm mastering my body, period. Cool. And I mean, there's other applications. I have a Deep Wave Beauty CD that has the associations of vitamins and muscles in your face and neck and collagen. So it's a little bit of a youthening. And I have the flower symphonies in sound, the same as taking the vial. And then you amplify it up with the music makes you feel emotionally. And you can put in cathartic release. I mean, everything's energy. So there's no end to what you can do with sound. And it's inexpensive and it's accessible.
Absolutely. And I love that. You talk about that there were 12 tribes that went out from Atlantis. And that having been raised a Catholic, that immediately said to me, the 12 tribes that are in the Bible. And it was just like, okay, fine, which obviously came way after. But it's that 12, isn't it? The numbers keep coming up, don't they? There's no two ways about it. 12 tribes there, 12 tribes in the Bible, 12 months of the year. But music is also, there are numbers within the frequencies, aren't there?
Yes, and in an octave, there's 12 half tones and 7 whole notes. And you'll find those two numbers like rhyming throughout time. Yes.
Yeah.
And another thing I did in my Lost Waves of Time book was that I counted the cycles per second of the different epics music. And you can also count rhythmic patterns, harmonics, and other things. And you'll find, this is so cool, like mathematics throughout time, throughout the globe, as if it either unfolded in a sequential way, or we learned our lessons one by one and somebody orchestrated it. It's really fascinating. Fascinating.
Okay, so is there anything more in respect to Atlantis, or do we go on to Egypt?
No, there is a little bit more from Atlantis. One of the things that they did in Atlantis was that they would remember or recall or hand down their star of origin. Many souls on Earth reportedly came from the Pleiades, Orion, Sirius, etc. But there's, some pretty big common ones. One thing they would do, or the listener can do, is if you're at night, divide the sky into a quadrant, and then just focus with all your intention on one quadrant and check out your feelings. And you'll find that you feel different each quadrant. Then further, you can go down, drill down further and say, okay, in that quadrant, which star turns me on, or do another quadrant. And you'll find one star eventually, or star system, that just feels glorious. And they would either pass down or know their star system of origin. And you find that many of the stone circles, such as Stonehenge, but they're all over the world, they're sound resonators, underground water channels, probably at the time of origin, to take the vibrations of the sound and heal the whole area, and ley lines, which are subtle magnetic energy lines. So they're taking beautiful song and harmony and spreading it out to all their people. And then notice that most star or stone circles are mapped to a star system. It's a place to go and phone home, like an ET movie, or reboot, or reconnect, or if you had a crappy day, to start over. And another thing they did was they would look at each planet in our solar system. So they look at Venus. It has a little pink hue, and it feels soft and loving. And notice, we associate Venus with love. And they've done that for all the stars, and they match what we talk about in astrology. And they would listen to the sounds of the stars to be in harmony. And if you take Carillion photography, before and after listening to the stars, you see it's like you must bring down light from above your head. You just open up like a Christmas tree, light up. And then there was a couple other reasons why they listened to the stars. Now, a star in its orbit makes a wave, which is a cycle per second or sound, below our hearing range, but it can be raised up. And if they had a greater hearing range, they, of course, could hear it. But at any rate, so they would listen to the stars, and once you're focusing on and listening to the sound and feeling good, it's like you're connecting, resonating with, exchanging energy with that star. Much as we think of Gaia in Earth, and she's far more beautiful than me, I tell you that, and more powerful, more evolved. So they would believe that every planet's ensouled with a very special, highly evolved energy being. So another reason they'd connect with these stars is to with resonance, you share energy. It's like downloading celestial energy. Woohoo! And I have that in my Stardust CD. I have this heavenly music that I channeled, and then I put in all the planets and their tones twinkling like in the nightscape, and the tones associated with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, that which is of the stars in our bodies. So, I could go on for days, but it's exciting to me.
And it's fascinating. And I remember, it's a few years ago now, and I'm sure the video or the CD, or no, it's not a CD, I'm sure it must have come from YouTube or something, that was the sounds of Earth. Somebody had recorded, I don't know whether it was from inside a cave or something, and it was amazing to listen to. It really was, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you what it was called or whatever. But I know that somebody recorded something. I can't remember how long it was, but it wasn't a 2-minute thing. I think it was a bit longer than that. But it was amazing, the sounds that were coming from. I'm not saying it was the center of the earth, but it was certainly, I think, a cave deep in the earth.
Well, ancient man, I'm talking about legends again and channelings from Atlantis again, or inner circles like Lao Tzu or, Confucius or, a high priesthood. They prized the sounds of the earth. There are two methods of taking the fast track to perfect health, emotional control, mental control, mastery of matter, was listening to sounds of the stars and of earth. And one of their methods, because they didn't have like recording devices, but one of their methods of capturing earth frequencies was to look at earth, again, not through the eyes of chemistry or biology, but through geometry. And so they'd see the spiral in a galaxy, is that which is in a seashell, a beehive, and you've got the ratio between the numbers that make up that spiral 10,000 times in your body. It's significant only because of the number of times we see it in the universe, in our bodies. And so they would take those numbers and make it cycles per second. And you ingest sound, it becomes part of you. So they were always loading up on heaven and earth. And I have that in my Paint Your Soul CD. I have those geometric patterns, and in my Ancient Sounds book, even Carillion photography of how it, again, it just brings light. It just uplifts you. And we stopped listening to scales that emulated this earth structure at the Renaissance. And as soon as we stopped listening to Mother Earth patterns, Industrial Revolution came and we plundered her without a clue what we were doing. We disconnected. And she's a powerful source of safety, power, illumination, wisdom. And we can go back to that. And again, I have that in my Paint Your Soul CD.
Oh, absolutely. We've so lost our connection with Mother Earth. And it's hardly surprising that there is the illness, the disease that there is today, because we've lost our connection to nature, the sounds, the vibrations of her. And so, yeah. And as for the stars, I love looking out at them every night. But and I've always recognized Orion's belt. And when I see Orion, I love it. I know I've connected with Pleiadians at the Pleiades. And if I'm not much mistaken, the Pleiades are just off the tip of the sword of Orion. But they are just off Orion, which makes it hardly surprising that I always feel attracted to be looking up at that series of stars, and it's one that I always recognize. And in fact, the other month, I think it was last month, when we had the eclipse of the moon, and I got up. I just happened to wake up in time to get up and to watch it, which was lovely. And there was Orion, so clear in the sky. It was beautiful. But we're going to Egypt, but am I right in thinking that the 3 pyramids at Giza have been set as in the 3 main stars of Orion's belt?
That's correct. And you'll find people that are attracted to Orion very often have a life path, or maybe lives path, of wisdom. And these are like clues to see where you came from. And the healers in general come from Pleiades. And Sirius would be your spiritual technology people. I can kind of get a feel for the souls coming from these planets by the animals that came from these planets. From Sirius, you have horses, cows, dolphins. I don't know, there's that gentleness in a horse's eye and in a cow's eye, soft, and that's Sirius energy. And then Pleiades are more your service signs, your pigs, your lambs. Then if you want to take a look at Orion, I'm thinking cats, wisdom, some birds, and that helps one to identify with the planet of origin. And another thing that's interesting is figure out through physics the pitch of a planet in orbit. You can also figure out the pitch of like Orion or Pleiades in a bigger orbit. And Sirius, Orion, Pleiades, Arcturus, all these systems that we hear a lot of, they all have reciprocal relations. How to put it? Red and green balance each other. Notes, if you count the cycles per second, notes associated with red and green also balance, like a seesaw. If you have too much red, you don't have enough green. And so they're tied like in this loop. So if someone from Pleiades is here trying to help us, they're helping themselves as well, because we're linked in sound. That's why those systems we hear about is because we're like tied, we're sisters, twins, something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating, and for those of you out there, sort of, what are you interested in? I mean, I know I feel very connected. Not just I can feel connected to all animals. I love all animals, but I have a huge connection to cats and to wolves. As sort of anybody that knows me and knows, I've actually been a trainee handler with wolves, so I've actually got up close and personal with wolves. And the energy of their sound, when they speak, I know some people think it's very eerie. I actually find it very sad and very soulful when they howl. There's just an amazing deep energy within that. But that's getting slightly off of track. So I know we've just mentioned the pyramids at Giza. So Egypt.
Yes, okay. Well, let me see. It would be kind of fun to talk about the planets again.
Mm-hmm.
Every ancient society is interested in the frequencies and musical astrology, and that will be a future book. But nonetheless, one of the things was, again, they would look at the planets and see this as our spiritual family or those energies. And they would be looking at souls, ascending from humanity, and then, perhaps a race of the solar system. So they saw this as a family. And so they would be very, very interested in recreating the energy of each planet in our system. And most of antiquity only had 7 identified. So they would look at, let's say, go back to Venus again, check their feelings while they're watching Venus. And vowel sounds in antiquity matched with very powerful energy. Notice with the Jews, you don't even write the vowel because it's too sacred to be this way. Like Yahweh, or vowels, is written in all consonants. And likewise, Egypt prized the energy with the planets and correlated it to vowel sounds. Likewise did Egypt. I mean, all of them that I see. And if you go into Theosophy or the mystery schools and look at Alice Bailey and Helena Blavatsky, lo and behold, the most powerful chant, and they consider sound the most powerful fast track to becoming ascended enlightened, was a chant of vowel sounds. And they would give you the vowel sounds, which all with modifications sounded pretty much like the Jewish thing, Yahweh. And so then they would never give you all the information, lest somebody like Hitler got into this, which he did, by the way. So they give you clues. So like in the Alice Bailey stuff, she'll give you the sacred vow chant, which is also associated with the 7 known planets. And the trick that you would have to figure out is what's the right pitch, what's the right rhythm, and what's the right accents. So anyway, if you go to ancient-music.com, I have a video where I am doing a big chant on the 7 planetary vow chants from Egypt. And they were kind of hoarded for the pharaoh. And it was called a death chant. And the pharaoh was to rise and stick around to guide over Egypt. And they wanted him to rise as much as possible, kind of thinking like if he was like, 10x good, he could rise 10 up in the sky. If he was 20x good, he could go up 20 times instead, that kind of an idea. So, ritual. One of the things they would do is that they would have 3 priests, and they would tertiary 2 3 1 2 3 kind of a rhythm, and then they would do this death chant like away, 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 and they would and start to rise. And if you chant that for a while, it like rearranges your energy. It's very powerful. It's and I think we need to talk about the word power. I don't think people today really value the word power, but yet they might be a Reiki healer. And if they're more powerful, they heal quicker and more further. So power associated with virtue is wondrous indeed.
Absolutely.
So there's a chant from Egypt to empower quickly.
Oh, absolutely. And we talk about stepping into our own power. And it is important that we do. We've been so squashed, and I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about everybody on the planet. It's almost as if we're being taught that everybody else has to come before us, which prevents us from being in our own power, which prevents us. And the more in our own power we are, the more at peace we are with ourselves, the more at peace we are with everybody else, because actually within our own power, we don't feel the need to be in control of anybody.
I created my flower symphonies, my healing flower symphonies, for that very purpose. Today, I feel the biggest blockage for mankind to raising is emotional. We've been taught to be weak. We've been taught not to express our feelings. We've taught to be polite. We're taught not to speak our truth. And we've been yelled at, and people have said our name, which is like our vibrational blueprint in life. And they say it with hate and anger, and it's like they clog it all up. And in the Flower Symphonies, I create off the Greeks cathartic music. And I go in and start pulling out all these pockets of negativity that we've been taught to house, and start to rip them out. And then I go in and place them with the frequencies of flower remedies, of flowers, and of virtues. A very, very empowering set or tool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The power of your name, and I know that because I work with sound energy, working with toning, and one of the most powerful things I do is work with an individual's name. And I think that is what people have to realize, is everything that we're all doing, but especially within the tone, within the sound, within the vibration of all these energies, is helping to bring people back to themselves, them true self, opening themselves up to their true being, reconnecting them to the aspects that they've disconnected from. Sound energy can work at a level that the majority of other things cannot work at. But everything is appropriate for you in its right order, because it's getting you to that right place to be able to accept what's next. It's, take that step, do it. Sort of, it is so important, for everyone. It really is. I mean, obviously, a lot of people talk about the Om or the Aum, which is the AUM. But the M, the M sound comes in a lot. I was at an event with I think it's White Eagle, and she was in the UK with her massive drum. She has got a huge drum which has got crystals in, and I didn't get to hear the drum, so I was really devastated about that. But when she was channeling, she channeled in respect of using and it was the me, the ma, hang on, mu ma me, but doing that without opening your mouth. So it was the and it's a low sound, sorry, and the energies of that, and I actually still use these every day, but there's something about them. So actually, I'd love to hear your on the energy of that sound. So it's because it feels really good to me.
Every consonant vibrates in a different place of our body. Parts of Hermetic magic was to use magic words, and it was, think of it as quantum energy healing, that we only can begin to really understand that which we have put down as superstitious. But quantum energy being small energy, you'll find that every consonant radiates at a place within your body and can heal and can dig up stock within a certain place in your body. And when also, so that's part of it. Ma would be a special healing, perhaps one for you. And the other thing is, when you close your mouth, you're getting different energy pathways of sound. Rather than the sound coming out, perhaps hitting the back of your teeth and out, you're making it ricochet. And one of the places it ricochets is on the top of your mouth. And when you do that, it goes straight up to the pineal gland. And by doing that, you start opening up lots of psychic skills. And so you get a different harmonic pattern. And the low tones in general are very good for your physical body. Your bones, your more dense things will vibrate with the low tones. So I don't know if that's interesting.
I think with all of it, it's I think, as you said before, you could talk about this for hours on each one. And I think that's what it is. It's finding what works for you. And, for a long time, the Om didn't do anything for me at all. But I found it now obviously does resonate, because when I do it, if you like, properly for me, the sound of it is wonderful. But just because something doesn't necessarily, but I think, I'm talking about that word sound. And I think what's the most important aspect to me, it isn't actually what you hear, is it? It's about what you feel.
Mm-hmm. Your body releases endorphins when you get the right pitch, tone, or rhythm pattern. So a real quick way, without studying a thing, is, what do you like to listen to, and feed that which gives you pleasure. And pay attention to how it makes you feel, or where you feel in your body.
Yeah.
And another thing that's really kind of interesting is another CD. And oh, by the way, you can listen to The Flowers at jillswingsoflight.com. There's a half-hour free music at jillswingsoflight.com. But back to the other, another they had in antiquity was they always correlated each ascended a ray. And that means color, ray. And you can take the cycles per second of light and and take it down octaves. And then when you do that, you can correlate to motions. And so you can correlate a color ray with emotions, things in your body, and angels and masters. And you're going to have to, excuse me, I've just got a warning on my computer. Do you mind if I just plug something in? So
Yeah, please do.
okay,
I don't want to lose you.
hold on just a second. I think if I do this, if I don't do this, we're going to be out of juice.
No, we definitely don't.
I apologize.
If you've got any questions for Jill, please do, because that's
okay.
coming close to time. But please do.
Here, was that a nice picture of my belly?
Questions. We'd love that. Great. Well, I'm pleased we're not going to lose you.
Okay, we're good now.
Good, excellent. Excellent. So it really is, depending on the mood you're in, because obviously you either want to enhance the mood you're in, so you're going to play that music that enhances it, or if you need to, I say need to change your mood, because if you're not in a particularly good mood and you want to lighten it,
you can take it further. On this Angels and Master CD, I correlate health issues with colors and musical notes. So if you're going in for heart surgery, you want to be listening to music in the key of C and thinking about the color pink, or perhaps always the complementary color, because they balance each other. So you can zero it right in then. You can also think of, let me see, like let's say everything has a vibration. So you can be sick because you don't have enough of the cycles per second that correlates to the musical note G or blue. If you go without a frequency long enough, it can kill you, because you need all colors, your white light when you're ascended. And so you need that specific cycle per second or frequency. And if you think about it, angels and masters are always colored.
Yeah.
Saint Germain is purple. Archangel Michael's blue. And so in this CD, I'm correlating emotional issues, really common things. And say, if you get this kind of personality, wow, man, you need to be working with the Dalai Lama or a Hindu master. Or maybe Kuan Yin is like right on target right now. And it reminds me of the Ghostbusters. They say, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters would say. You can think about who do you want to work with you at the time. And then also in the CD, I channel angels and masters, and their energy records. So the person who doesn't channel can start to feel what Violet and Saint Germain and Zadkiel feel like. Then they can feel the different colors and the different beings associated with those rays, enabling them to recognize when they're being surrounded by celestial host, to start to communicate and download. Woo, how cool is that?
Oh no, it very much. But the colors of the angels also combine with the colors of the chakras. So
yes, they do.
Michael's at the throat.
Yes.
Zadkiel is also the purple, because Zadkiel is connected with Saint Germain. So I think it's
and people, I don't think they quite get it. You want to think that when you run your life, you always use from your paint box, and you could think of the rainbow colors on your palette. So like if I'm going to relate to you and my heart chakra is closed, I'm not going to do a good job. I don't have any of that energy. Or said differently, I'm low in green and red. And so you might make a beautiful request to me to respond with my heart, and I can't, because I don't have the chakra open. If for whatever reason, forget the judgment, be it past life or I'm helping someone else, whatever, this is closed, then I should be working with Buddha, who's green, or Raphael, who's green. And if I work with those beings, it's going to take this much time. If I work with someone in the inappropriate color, it just takes a little longer. Well, why not?
Well, you can also work with Shamuel, who's pink. So
yes,
and Shamuel has the pink bubble of love. So so everything has a vibration. The colors have a vibration. It's absolutely wonderful. And those vibrations can obviously be connected to sound, and sound itself is a vibration. as we are a vibration. So,
and the thing about sound, Sarah, you can play it in the background. You can loop it when you're sleeping. So you can be doing like a meditation and the same kind of benefit when you're sleeping. Woohoo!
Excuse me, already do. Because of working with Reiki, I open the channel every night as I go to sleep for everybody on my healing list, which is massive. So I can't name everybody, I just say everyone on my healing list. But I go to sleep with a CD playing. And I suggest that to all my students. I would suggest it to anybody. But have a CD that you can go to sleep to. Because when I do a Reiki session for myself, I do not use that same CD because I know I can stay asleep when that one finishes. I have the separate one for when I do a Reiki session for myself during the day because I know I have to wake up at the end. But but I would really recommend to people, if you can play a CD as you go to sleep at night. I know my mother does. It's something I suggested to her, and I think she started doing it once when my dad died. And it's amazing, but you've got to find the music that's right for you. I think she plays I'm just trying to think I can't remember. I can't remember his name. He's gone out of my head. He's a famous conductor. What's his name? Never mind, it doesn't matter. I suppose I shouldn't be promoting his music, but I mean he's very famous. She's seen him live. She loves his music, and I think I wish I could remember his name. Never mind, it's gone. Anyway, everybody's been very quiet. They're here, they're obviously enjoying listening, but nobody seems to have any questions. Have you got anything finally that you would like to say to anybody, to share with anybody before we have to wrap up?
Well, I would say that the voice is a beautiful tool that's underused. And I'm just going to give you one technique from the ancient Jewish tradition. And this was from about 400 AD. They would practice saying the alphabet, but saying it with love, because waves combine, and all within our being, we have many octaves. So we have thoughts, brainwaves going all the time, whether we're conscious or not. Even if we're daydreaming, they're still going. We have emotions going, even if we're doing our accounting and we're not aware. There might be subconscious, and everything in our body is vibrating. So on our voice, we always transmit our emotions. So it's hello, hello, hello. I mean, hello is not the message. The stronger vibration, the stronger gift is that which comes out of my mouth. Like my mouth is a big water pistol. So what do I want to come out? Do I want stinky stuff or beautiful light? And they would practice like saying A in the alphabet with love. So it was a habit. Again, I know this research says you only need 21 repeats to make it happen, but I must be slowed. Now I need a lot more. And then they would do the alphabet, and then they'd start common words, and they're building the habit of speaking with love. So as they go through their day, they're vibrating themselves with love, and they are blessing everyone they speak with. And also, let me see, my new book, Lost Wave of Time, is available at ancient-music.com, along with hands-on exercises to experience cool stuff throughout the ages, secrets, and Jill's Wings of Light, with all kinds of videos, training, samples, half-hour free music, articles, and a calendar with all kinds of workshops.
Brilliant. Thank you, folks. If you haven't been able to take the names of those websites down, don't worry. The new one will go up tomorrow, but the Jill's Wings of Light, that is already up on the website on the About Us page, as is musicforbeauty.com. The other one is ancient-music.com. So please do look for those. I will put these under the new YouTube video tomorrow, so that you can find them there, so that you can find it, and her new book's coming out as well. So do go and check out, if you've enjoyed this, if you want to hear more of the actual, well, not hear more of, hear the music. Also do check out, Jill was on the program a few months back, and she did share some of her music then. So do go back and find that. I'm just trying to think, what was that program called? I think it was A Music to Enlighten. So please do go back and find that and watch that. Thank you so much, Jill, for being here. Next week, we are being joined by Eileen Burns, who's going to be sharing Meditation Made Simple. So I hope you will join us for that. Thank you for joining us this week. If you want, have you got any messages you want to send to Jill, any questions, you can send them through this if you're watching the replay, or send me an email, send to Jill an email, I'm sure, through her websites. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We're very happy for you to do that. Sort of Jay says, thank you, Jill and Sarah. Missed the start, but we'll catch the replay. Great, Jay. It's been fascinating, Jill. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Folks, take care. Have a wonderful week. Hope we'll see you again next week. Love, peace, and light to you all. Namaste.